This video is for future programmers who want to know where to store their work on a Mac. Uh, any modern computer is going to give you lots and lots of different places to store your folders and files, but I'm going to show you where I want you to store your folders and files for our purposes together. But before I do that, I want to show you just a few things that I wish every Mac user knew. A MacBook computer will give you a couple different places to look for things. This icon in the lower left-hand folder, that's the lower left-hand corner, is the Finder. This down here is the Dock. So in my dock, the Finder is over here on the left, and in the upper right-hand corner, you have a little magnifying glass. That's called the Spotlight Search, and it's there to help you find things. So two ways to find things: the Finder in the parallel universe of Microsoft Windows, that would be File Explorer, and the Spotlight Search in the upper right hand corner, and this thing at the bottom is the Dock. Now I'm going to turn something on here. I have my desktop here. I'm going to I've opened the Finder, and I'm going to go to Finder and Preferences, and in Preferences across the top I have General, Tags, Sidebar, and Advanced, and on the General tab I'm going to click Hard Disks, and I'm going to click the red dot here and the red dot here. This will put a icon that represents your hard disk. Looks just like the physical hard disk I had in an earlier video, and that is representative of the disk drive that represents your whole computer. So if I were to double click that, I can see here that there are folders. I have the Applications, Library, Systems, and Users folder, and I have folders that hold other folders. Here are some of the users on this system. I'm currently logged in as a user named Student, so I have the icon of a home drive. This is my home, and if I were to double click on that, I have other folders, including my desktop, and my desktop is currently empty. What if I were to go make a folder on my desktop here? So I'm going to right mouse click. If you are a MacBook user that has a button, a mouse with only one button, and I can't believe there's too many of those left out there, but if you are, you would need to do a Control, Command, and single click to get that right mouse click. That's holding down the Control key, holding down the Command key, and clicking your mouse. But a modern mouse will let you have a right mouse click button. You can choose New Folder, and you get to name that folder whatever you want. I'm going to call this Work Space. Or, assuming that you are a student of mine in the class MIS 2402, I would call it the MIS 2402 workspace. Notice I haven't put any spaces in there. I haven't put any mixed case. I haven't put any punctuation. I want to keep my folder names and file names as simple as possible. And here's my folder, and now I'm going to go navigate through that file and folder structure again. So Mac, Users, Student, Desktop, there's my workspace. So this desktop folder holds everything that appears on my desktop. Alright, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to double click on the workspace folder. Now I'm inside of this folder, and I want to create a file. I want to create a text file, not a Word file, not an Excel file, not any other kind of fancy file. I want a text file. I'm going to use TextEdit to do it. And I don't see TextEdit down here in my dock, so I'm going to click on the Spotlight Search and type in TEXTEDIT, TextEdit. Notice there's no space in the file name, and if I give that a a moment. Seems like my Mac's having a hard time finding it. There it is. There's TextEdit. And I have launched into TextEdit. I'm going to do that one more time. Here we go. Clicking, I'm going to click. I am going to click on the Spotlight search in the upper right hand corner. Type in TEXTEDIT, that's TextEdit, all one word, all lowercase, no space in there, just keeping it simple. I'm going to double click on TextEdit, and now I'm in TextEdit. And you'll notice that I'm in the MIS2402 workspace folder. What if I were to click on this? There is, again, is the same structure of a drive with folders nested inside of other folders, and now I'm at the current folder I am in is the MIS2402 workspace. Now I'm going to create a new document, and here I have my editor. Now you would think you might be done because the name of the program is TextEdit, but this is not going to let me create a text file. To create a text file, I have to go to Format and say Make Plain Text. And when I click Make Plain Text, all that other information at the top, the font size and the layout, when I go here, Make Plain Text, that all goes away. That's what I want. And I'm going to type the word Hello World. And that is awfully tiny. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and when I zoom in, my layout gets goofed up, so I have to scroll around, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There you go. You can see the word Hello World, and I'm going to click File and Save. And you can see that it says if no extension is provided, use TXT. I'm going to call this file hello. And I'm actually going to just put it all up in here, HELLO. Save. And close. And there we have it. There's my folder, hello, and then I've got a little icon above it. So here's the other here's another thing that just drives me absolutely bonkers about Apple. They want to hide as many technical details from the user as possible because that would be quote unquote too confusing. And you can see that in this case, hello is simply hello, but that's not the real name of this file. The real name of this file is hello.txt. How can we tell the Apple Mac operating system, how can we tell it to please tell us the truth? Don't just hide important details from us. Well, that means going back to the Finder, and you'll notice that when I was in TextEdit, this bar here changed. Mac users should always be aware of what they're in, because what you see on the screen doesn't necessarily match whatever the primary program of the moment is. So right now I'm in the Finder, and I'm going to click Preferences, and this is where I turned my hard disk off and on just a moment ago. I'm going to go to General, Tags, Sidebar, Advanced. If I click on Advanced, I'm going to say Show All File Name Extensions. That is to say, tell me the truth, please. Tell me the full name of the file, hello.txt, and I can see now that this is a text file. Right? What if I wanted to make a HTML file? Well, to do that, I can go back to TextEdit, Spotlight Search, TextEdit, enter, and I'm going to create a new document. I want it to be a plain text file, and I'm going to type in, the words hello world again, And I'm going to zoom in again. To scroll around a little bit. And to just emphasize that this is, in fact, HTML, I'm going to put hello world inside of a tag. So I have an angle bracket, H1 close angle bracket, and then I do this over at the end, angle bracket, a forward slash, that's the one on your keyboard, it's right underneath the question mark, and each one, and close angle bracket. So it looks like this. You're all done. There we go. Very good. And I'm going to click File and Save. And this time, instead of calling it hello.txt, I'm going to call it hello.html. So I gave it a different 3-letter extension, knowing the 3-letter extension is, in fact, important. And it's one of those technical details that someone who is a future programmer should just be aware of, right? I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to say Use HTML, and I'm going to now close this, and now I have 2 files here in my MIS 2402 workspace. If I double click on hello.txt, I open up into TextEdit because the Mac OS recognizes that, oh, that's a text file. I should go into the text editor. If I double click on hello.html, with a double click, you'll notice that my Safari browser here is starting to open up, and it's going to try to open that up, and there is hello world. Notice that this is bold and large text. That's because I put it inside of an H1 tag. This opened up in Safari because Safari is currently the default browser of my for my MacBook. I would encourage you to, instead of making Safari your default browser, I would encourage you to use Chrome or Firefox, because look at this. I'm going to right mouse click. Notice that there's no view page source here. Not being able to view the page source is kind of a pain. It's really hard for somebody who's trying to learn how to code. And again, it's one of those quote-unquote technical details that Apple likes to hide from you. Both Apple and Microsoft are guilty of hiding important details from the user in the name of simplicity, supposedly. Don't worry, I say bad things about Microsoft too in the Microsoft video. All right, I think that's good for right now. I'm able to, I have a folder on my desktop. I'm able to understand that that folder is nested inside of many other folders, and inside that folder I have 2 files, and I have a text file, and I have an HTML file. That's a pretty good place to start. Moving on.